Hello. So Helen is going to join us here at any moment. I'll be waiting for her to pop on in. Today we are continuing with our theme of this month, acknowledgement. My lips are really dry. Acknowledgement. And today we get to look at how it has been going with us acknowledging our children and our partners and the people around us, and what has been showing up for us. Oh, I think Helen is starting to come over and on. Here she comes. Here she comes. Awesome. So we would really love to hear what has been showing up around you with acknowledgement. So feel free to pop on in, add some comments. I would love to interact and hear what is happening in the world of acknowledgement where you are and your family is. Hi, Helen. Can I hear you?
Morning.
Oh, there you are. It was a little bit of delayed sound.
Yes, can you hear me? I just was being a little subdued. Oh, okay. I just wasn't being super loud. Good morning.
Hello.
It's so lovely to see you.
Yes. So here, let me see if I can move this. Can you move?
I'm going to go close to my Wi-Fi.
All right. So I was just sharing how we are today continuing our conversation about acknowledgement and what has been showing up. I don't know, Helen, if you have things to share about what's been showing up about acknowledging people and really getting connected to who somebody is for you and sharing that with them, because that's what we were really up to taking on last week. I know for myself, doing with my husband, that made a huge difference of really like creating who he was for me, like really getting connected to all the different things that he does do, who he is in our relationship and who he is for our family. And as soon as I was really present to that, because I had done some of the fun things I was going to do last week to write things down and do a little, mind mapping of the people in my life that are important to me. And I really got present to who he is. And that made it so available to see it in live form. Like it was like it primed me. So then I was like going through my day, and as my, husband and son were interacting, I was really present to the difference he was making with them. And so it was like really available for me to then acknowledge him for that and say like, wow, like that's really a difference you're making over here. Or thank you for taking that on, or thank you for taking the boys out, or, thank you for talking to Reed with like that. And it was just, it just made me really more present and aware of what was actually happening around me, is what I noticed came up out of it. Yeah.
So the one thing, like it was such a small thing, but yesterday my oldest kid's been talking about having his hair cut for a long time, like a few days now, right? And yesterday he just described what he wanted and he took himself off, but then he just sent me a photo, and there's this photo of this kid that okay.
Hi, I see you.
Yeah, so the whole thing went weird, like it jumped out. Sorry, now I can see myself talking over myself, so it's a bit weird, so sorry. So I'm going to try again. He sends me this photo of him, and I'm sorry, there's something glitchy.
Okay, over here it's not glitchy, just so you know.
Okay.
Over here I hear you and I see you clearly.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to talk, and then this the rest of the stuff. So my kid sends me a picture of him.
You're fine.
Okay, no, but then I'm getting you repeat it. I have to
Okay.
get out and try and, okay.
Okay, so she's going to join back. So acknowledgement this week is what we really want to take on, is really looking to play a new game this week with acknowledgement. And we've the first week we were really looking at it, we were looking at like acknowledging and what it is, and then we looked at how to acknowledge like different, like the actions that people do around us, like our kids, to really be present and notice the difference that they're making, or the actions that they're doing, or how they're contributing. And then we took on really actually acknowledging who people are for us and really getting present to that so that we can create them in our lives. And then this week, Helen, are you back? Because I do want to hear about the pair. I just thought I would share what we're up to.
I'm back.
And then this week, we're really...
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Just complete
And then
your
this
thought, though,
week, what we're really taking on in another aspect of acknowledgement, because we've done all these parts of it, is actually bringing it back over here to acknowledge ourselves and the difference that makes, and taking the time and the moment and the pause to actually acknowledge ourselves for what we do, the difference that we make, and also like really acknowledge yourself for the commitment that you are, like as a parent, and what you bring to your parenting and what you bring to your family as a commitment, and the work that you do for that and how you show up for that, and to really take those moments to acknowledge when it's present and who you are and what you're up to. So that's what we really want to kind of dig into this week. Hi, Helen.
Don't you love it when we have technical glitches? It really requires us to be
Yeah.
present, doesn't it? Like, it's so fabulous. And just like, but true, like, right what you're speaking about acknowledging, like, I know for myself in the past, like, this kind of technical glitch would have taken me out. I would have been half like freaked out and not able to be here with you. And in fact, like, I just want to acknowledge that both of us, look at us, we can just be with what this is, because really our commitment is to something far bigger, right? That we know ourselves in this world, right? As parents who are really committed to our kids, right? And so whatever the other funny stuff is that happens, that's okay, right? So I just wanted to say about my kid, it was so cute. He sends me this picture. Now, he's not a selfie kid. He's not an Instagram, like selfie kid. And he sends me this picture of him, and he's got his hair all done and he's wearing his shades. And you can just see in that moment, he's so thrilled about like that he actually like did this thing and it looks really sharp. But it was the acknowledgement for me of who he is, that he would let me know, because this is my, like, we'd had this conversation. So it was right in that moment. I just got to see him. Like, I don't know how else to say, but it moved me that he would take the moment to let me know, this is complete. Here I am. I'm so happy. And I also know the other thing is that he shared that with his partner, right? And so now I'm in this little like conversation of the three of us, like acknowledging who we are for each other is actually like, I want to say family right in that moment, right? We get to be in this moment together. And like, I could have just been another photo. It wasn't. It was actually sharing a life together. And when I actually let him know, and he was totally moved by that. I was moved that he'd done this little thing. And it's just that moment where I got to be with my kid that otherwise I wouldn't have taken in my day. And I don't know, it's the richness of that, right, that I keep seeing in my life, that when I acknowledge something, like, my life is so rich, and it's like, pinch me, look what I get to have.
And
That's
what I so hear
to.
what you're sharing, which is so great. It's like how much is available right now. Like there's all of these moments that are continually going throughout the day. All of these things that oftentimes like we're just in this, keep going, nothing wrong with it. We're just up to a lot of stuff. And so we're not always taking that time to notice. But it's like as soon as you say acknowledgement matters, as soon as you kind of just say this is what I'm up to play the acknowledgement game or whatever, it gives a space where like you just stop for that moment. You just stop and you get to really be with each other, and you really get to be with that moment and your child, and it becomes juicy and rich and lovely. But I'm just so present to like, wow, like I wonder, because I always get like all mathematically curious, but like I really wonder like how many, like in an actual number form, of those little juicy moments are there available in the day. And it's like seems like just so vast. Like it occurs to me, it's like so vast, and then we tap into a few, and a few still really bring such richness. But I'm just so present to like the vastness of what's available to us in parenting and being with our kids and family and love and connection and richness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, yeah, and I love that because there's like such an opportunity, right? In any
Yeah.
moment, right? And it is the vastness of it all. Like I would say the
Yeah.
infiniteness of it. That's what I, heard in your sharing, like how infinite this is,
Yeah.
right?
But then I hesitate with that because
And
that's a
then what it
bold
makes
statement.
available.
And I mathematically want to know actually the number because there may be a specific number.
Okay, I got it.
But it occurs. Yeah.
They may.
There's a lot though. It's like, whoa. And yeah, and like it was
Yeah,
so fun. Like last night too.
yeah.
Just even that, just even thinking about some of the games I'm playing, like this game of acknowledgement, had me like, oh, I feel distance between me and my kids. They're just in the other room. So like it's just I get it from what I'm doing and I just go, they're on their computer and I just, come up behind them and just wrap my arms around them and like, I really love you. You are so great, and like just list it off like
Mm,
3 or 4 specific. I got a call. It paused. But I then listed 3 or 4 specific things of who they were for me. And then they just like lean in a bit deeper and just they got to be,
mm.
I don't know, it was so special that I knew they knew that who they were for me. Like I knew that they knew in that moment. And it was just lovely. It's lovely.
I'm really clear that out of taking this on, that I have acknowledged my kids more. So my little, like it was not, I just got to be with her like again and again this week and just acknowledge all the little spaces who she is to me. And it's that same
Mhm.
thing, right? You see, it's the lean in. For me, it's the blossom. You just see the
Mhm.
blossom, right? Like, oh, I'm being seen. And it's been a really touching week. I think that's what it is. And like I'm left at the end of the week, having done this a week ago, right? With this experience of my life, like living to edges that I
Yeah.
don't always live to, right? That I can actually feel satisfied. And that's interesting for me because the one thing I think I was always so driven to get somewhere that then I wasn't always satisfied with how things were. Not that things were bad, but like for myself, the experience of not being satisfied, right? And I have this experience that like we're busy and I have the experience of being satisfied. Like that's a win.
Yeah. It really is. Like, yeah, there's nowhere to get it. It's all right here. And like we get to like rest in it and play in it. I love that we take this on. Like I just get so much out of each month taking
Yeah,
on this theme and each week breaking it down and taking a closer look. That's so great. And so then this week we get to play
yeah,
with like acknowledge you, acknowledge
yeah.
us, like acknowledge ourselves. So it's like
Mm,
really like take
mm,
that moment. And I love
yeah.
one game I played for some time that I really loved is that like nightly acknowledgement, like actually stopping every night before going to bed and either having a special
Mm,
journal just for me, all pretty and fancy, or just scribble paper. It doesn't really matter. And writing down to yourself, like specifically, like what difference did you get to make today? Like, who are you? And acknowledge yourself for something
mm,
you said or you did, or the love or the connection, or acknowledge yourself for that moment where you really created that moment as opposed to come from that default place that we can come from. Like, acknowledge all of those times that you
mm,
really showed up. Often as
mm,
moms, I'm sure dads too, often as parents in general, I'm sure, we end our day tired, a little bit on the tired side or worn out, and also noticing all the things that didn't happen, all the stuff that we didn't do or who we weren't,
yeah,
and we can go there really fast, and it's just unsettling, right? Like, and it's not to say
yeah.
like if there's I guess some value in a little bit of that, but we can take it to a different space where it has no value anymore, and we're basically just beating ourselves up, and it doesn't really work, and it keeps something not great alive.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like in every
yeah.
day for myself,
That's what
that
it
game
is, right?
of
Yeah.
taking a moment to actually acknowledge what I did do, acknowledge what I did say that made a difference,
Mm,
acknowledge those moments where I was love with my
yeah.
kids or what I did offer, acknowledge my commitment, like acknowledge who I was, who I am and was for my children, and take that moment to really be with yourself and to really see actually what you did do and like wrap your arms around yourself and be with that like each day. And so that's my way of playing the game is like kind of a nightly wrap up.
Mm,
um, and you can bring it through your day in all different kinds of ways to play that game. Like, what
yeah.
do you hear for yourself when you say acknowledge yourself and what you want to take
Yeah.
on?
So one thing that Yeah, so one thing I was just going to say to you. Yeah, so one thing I was going to say is like, I know what my kids, and it's especially the younger two, do is they will actually come and say, I'd really like to be acknowledged for. And it's such a place of power in my life when they do that, because they actually seeing what they've done, right, and the contribution they're being, and they make a request. And I actually did it last night. It was really crazy. I had this crazy night where I didn't know, like it felt like there were things just coming at me all night. And I actually phoned a friend and said, I just want you to know that I'd like to acknowledge me for all like taking all this stuff on, and like just keep standing there, like not in any way diminished, only like, wow, this is a really cool game I'm playing. I don't know how to play it, and I just kept playing this game of taking all this stuff on. And I just like, so part of it is for me is to actually say it out loud too, right, is to say, hey, I'm really acknowledging I did this part. That's what I'm pointing to. Yeah, I did this part. Whoa, I didn't know I could do it like that.
That reminds me of this game a friend of
Yeah,
mine
like
played
that.
once.
It was really
Yeah, a
fun.
game this friend of mine played that I love when she created. I didn't do it, but I'm really enrolled in it because it's kind of what you're saying too. It's like a brag fest, a boast fest, like giving yourself, like, I don't know, go in front of the mirror or call a friend or have a partner or play with your partner or even play with your kids. Do all sitting around a circle, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's brag fest, and like each person can get up and actually like we tend to have a negative view of acknowledging ourselves, like as if it's bragging or boastful, or it's like, oh,
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
conceited or overconfident or whatever. But it's like, actually, like, we're all really freaking great, and we all offer something, and we do really great things in the day that make a difference. And so I love the idea of sitting around in a circle as a family, and it's like, all right, whose turn is it to have their brag fest? And each person gets to come up and have, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, like, pick your time, and like, it's a brag off. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, I love it. You know what we did is we actually created an awards
Oh, yeah.
party, and then we voted on awards. Yeah, it was really fun, and it was. I mean, some of it was silly, like, because I'm like 3. One of the things is who farted the most, but really, like, it was really about acknowledging what people, like, who people are, right? And so who one of them was in the world of like, who acknowledges you, right? Who acknowledged the most this year? But that we could claim that, like, I own this, that my family saw me like this, right? But I know we're saying it from the other way around, but you could literally say, so let's play this game. What would you like to be acknowledged for? Let's have an awards fest. You're acknowledged, right? Like, I don't know. It was really fun when we did it. And I can just hear the tie-in, and I know where we're working is from acknowledging ourselves this week.
Yeah.
So I'm just not quite sure how we would do
Well,
it, but that was my
really,
idea.
this whole
Yeah.
month is about acknowledgement. So that really would wrap up the whole month nice and neatly. Like, you get to,
Yeah.
nominate yourself for awards,
Wouldn't it?
and other people can nominate you, and you can nominate people. It should be
Yes.
really fun. Yeah. So what I hear is, like, every person's going to have
Yeah.
their own kind of fun game. And like, it would be really fun to hear about all the different games that you could acknowledge
Yes.
yourself. Like, how can you bring acknowledging yourself into your day? Like, and each and every day, so that each and every day this week, not just one day this week, each and every day this week, you're actually acknowledging yourself. And what difference does that make? Like, how do you get to show up to the next day? How do you get to show up to the next moment? How do you get to show up next time with your child? And it's like, let's play that game. Let's do that. Let's do that. So it'd be so fun to hear your ways
Yeah.
and take this on. I'm excited. I'm ready for Bragfest.
You're in for breakfast? Yeah. I'm in for some kind of awards thing, hands down. Like, really, it's so fun. We dressed up the last
Ooh,
time. It
make it
was
all
really funny,
fancy.
and it was all a surprise. And then, yeah, and I had little bottles of like sparkling apple juice, and it was really fun. So I'm just like, that idea of actually acknowledging ourselves, like, within that, just is beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, come join
Yeah.
the Committed Parenting Facebook group and share a way of how you are acknowledging yourself. We're going to be sharing how we're acknowledging ourselves, and we're likely going to be putting to some free giveaways of games and stuff everybody can play about acknowledgement. So stay tuned, because that's coming very soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Woohoo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and hold on. One more thing. I just want to know, because there's one thing that we're missing. I want to acknowledge the people who come and watch this video
Yes.
with us, because it's such fun to see you pop up, and then I'm present to who you are. Like every single person, I get to say, hey, this is this person, and I just send you a bit of love each time. So I really acknowledge you for being on the call with us. Thank you. Like really, it's what makes this all like so exciting and like
Yeah.
worthwhile, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Thank
that.
you for the difference you make in being
Yeah, so
here to play
thank
with
you.
us.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.